A milkmaid named Sarah Nelms helped Jenner test his idea that having cowpox might prevent a person from getting smallpox. Jenner took liquid from a cowpox sore on Sarah Nelms, and then he injected this liquid into the arm of a boy named Jimmy Phipps. After the boy had recovered from cowpox, Jenner injected him with the liquid he had taken from a smallpox sore, but Jimmy Phipps did not get smallpox. Today we would say that he had been vaccinated. Jenner had discovered a means of preventing diseases, a way of making a person immune to them.
Price had taken his baby son's body, wrapped it in napkins, and was burning it in a casket of paraffin. The chapel-goers almost lynched him, and on the 12th of February, he appeared in court.
William Price died aged 92. Not surprisingly, he had left instructions that his own body was to be burned. Tickets were sold. Over 20,000 people gathered to watch. So throughout Britain, cremation was made legal thanks to the eccentric Dr. William Price of Llantrisant.
In 1675, with a simple microscope, von Leeuwenhoek saw whole living things that were invisible to the naked eye. They were tiny moving objects which he called little animals. From his drawings, we know that von Leeuwenhoek probably was the first man to see bacteria.
And then a weatherman called Wegener said, I've been thinking, look how well South America and Africa fit. And these Scandinavian mountains, they're the same as the ones in Scotland and in North America. They knew that Wegener had been right. The ridge volcanoes were making new ocean floor, and as that spread, it pushed the continents apart. Gradually, they arrived at where they are today, like this.
Bacon was worried that a lot of supposedly scientific ideas were simply made up.
He said if you wanted the truth, you had to get evidence from the real world. Francis Bacon summed up the scientific method beautifully. Whether or no anything may be known can be settled not by arguing, but by trying.
She was assigned to the Icahns Computation Laboratory at Harvard University. The computer she worked on was 51 feet long, and she often slept by the computer to make sure nothing went wrong. She was the first person to program the Harvard Mark I computer, and she also invented the COBOL computer language.
The
habits of the housefly make it dangerous as a potential carrier of disease. The bacteria which can be carried by flies, opportunities permitting, include those which are responsible for various diseases of man, such as typhoid, dysentery, and summer diarrhea. There is also evidence to suggest that flies may play a part in the transmission of polio.
He went to the Registrar of Deaths and got details of all the cholera cases in Soho for that week, and drew a black line next to the location of each fatality on a map of the area. The most obvious thing was that all the deaths happened very close to the pump. In fact, of the first 90 people who died, only 10 were closer to any other pump.
So Snow went along and told the Board of Guardians of St James's Parish what was going on, and then they removed the handle from the pump. And still on this replica there's no handle. That was it. Within 2 days there were no more cases.
Many cattle and sheep in Europe in the late 1800s were dying from a disease called anthrax. Through a microscope, Koch observed in the blood of sheep certain organisms that he suspected caused anthrax. When new organisms had been produced from the original ones, Koch injected them into a healthy sheep. Soon the animal became ill and died of what seemed to be anthrax. In finding the organism that caused anthrax, Koch had also shown it was possible to produce a growth or colony of microorganisms outside a living body.
It wasn't until 1825 that London gynecologist James Blundell performed the first successful transfusions with human blood. A woman who'd just had a child and was hemorrhaging badly was given around 1/4 of a litre of fresh blood straight from the arm of an assistant, a successful transfusion that caused a sensation.